Okay, guys, we're gonna do our recap for today's trades. Today it was a pretty uh, quick day. We only traded one stock, VRA. So this stock was it made a pretty nice move. It actually halted going up, so that was the reason that I jumped in. I like trading stocks after halts. For some reason, I've kind of figured out how to trade those kind of stocks after the halt resumptions. Usually, for the most part, all stocks, not all of them, but most of them do, they behave pretty similar out of the halt. Most of the time, you'll get a halt resumption. It'll kind of pop up, it'll pull back, and then it'll curl and make a move higher. And that's potential entry. That's a potential entry right there. So anyways, we'll jump in here on the, let's see, on the 1 minute chart so we can see how I traded this one. This one was unfortunately it did not hold, it didn't hold up as well. And that's something that some of these stocks right now, it's a slower period. I mean, we just went through a super hot period, probably the hottest period that I've seen in my 3 years of trading. And so right now it's kind of just a little slow period, not much action going on, and it's kind of a change. So anyways, here we can see that it was trading around 640. It just squeezed up out of nowhere. I don't even think the stock was on the morning gapper watch list. So here it halted at 730. Here you can see that there was no candle action here, just straight lines. That means that it halted going up. Usually it'll halt whenever it passes it moves more than 10% within 5 minutes, a 5 minute window. So that's why it halted. So it halted at 729. I was watching this for a resumption. What I wanted to see on this was a pullback and then a squeeze up, and that's exactly what we got on this one. It opened down here at 720, and then as I saw that it had pulled back down to 720, I went ahead and jumped in there right under 720. I think it was like at 715. And then I kind of gave it a minute. I was like, well, this thing might still have more room since it is the only one that has moved today. We might see a pretty nice move on this stock. I mean, it had already made a nice move, a whole dollar per share on this move here. So I figured it might have potential. So I held it a little bit longer. Well, it's not really that long, but usually longer than what I usually hold it for. And so I got in at 715, sold up here at 740, which is pretty nice because it's up here at the very top almost. 743 is a high, and I sold around 738, 39. Captured like, what is that? 20 cents of profit, 15, 25, 35, about 20 something cents of profit there. Uh, this was, I mean, it was a very simple, very easy trade. I mean, it worked in a matter of seconds, and that's what I like. I've been thinking about kind of changing up my strategy just a little bit to where I hold the stock a little bit longer, but I have to be very careful on which ones I decide to do that because not all of them are gonna play out. Usually, the ones that are, if you buy them low on a pullback, and you're kind of hoping for the bigger move, that's kind of risky because it's already showing kind of weakness. So for example, here, let's say you buy down here at 680, and then you're like, well, I'm gonna hold this for it to come back up 740 up here. Yes, sometimes it'll do that, but most of the time, I mean, since it's already down here, it's already weak, you're buying into weakness, you might just get a little pop up to 7, and then you get a drop. Let's see what it does on the next candle. So here it consolidated on that next candle, and then on this one it broke down, and now here finally it's kind of curling back up, but then again it just failed here. So but in this case, I don't know, it could have gone both ways really. But the reason I did sell up here was because I saw that it was struggling to get past this level. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and take my profit. I'm glad I did take it whenever I did, because a few seconds later it came back down to my entry point. It broke the whole dollar and it came down to 690. So that was a good call on that stock. Nice little 20 something cent winner. Yesterday it was a lot of chop action. Today it was actually pretty clean. There was a few other stocks that I wanted to trade, but I had ran out of buying power, so I couldn't take any more trades till tomorrow, which is a good thing because yesterday I definitely overtraded. A lot of little small losers, but it was just a lot of them. So that's not really what the direction that you want to go in. So I kind of needed this today. Small slow down period, just kind of like a resting period. You know, this right here is proof that you're patient, wait for the right trade. I mean, you'll make your money. I mean, there's no need to trade anything and everything that's moving, because not all the time, most of not I'm not gonna say most of the time, but there's a good chance that they're gonna be losers whenever you're just kind of jumping in, and that's what I was doing yesterday. I was just jumping in to anything that was moving. Luckily, I was able to, be disciplined enough to cut it loose whenever I noticed that it wasn't working. I didn't hold and hope, so that's good on that side of things. Another stock that I'm kind of, I'm just eyeing it is Tesla, not Tesla, Apple. I'm very tempted to take a trade on Apple because it did a reverse, not a reverse split, a traditional split here yesterday. It was trading around $500, and then it did a traditional split. What is it? Four for one split. So basically, it divides that 500, 600 by four, and that's what your price is going to be trading at. So this one's interesting because I mean it's Apple. Apple, unless something really bad and happens to Apple, it'll go down. But you know, chances are that it's gonna get back up here to back to where it was trading at, around the 500s, maybe even higher. So right now, I mean, you're down here at support level. You're down here at support, pretty much at the low, and if you jump in here around 130, 125 for a potential move back up to $500, I mean, you're looking at $350 profit per share. So that right there is could definitely be a long-term hold. I mean, if you decide to take that trade, it's definitely going to be you're going to be holding it for years, but that's the goal. But I mean, you're going to be green no matter what in the long run, because Apple, I don't see it going anywhere, but up. All right, guys. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed.